Vin Diesel's cool. Tyga's very sweet. Tyga's actually very nice. And
I've heard that. We're friends.
yeah, you are?
No.
Oh.
From the basement of a pretty normal office building in New York City, it's Shoot Your Shot, Thrillist Boozy Trivia Game Show with your host, Wil Fulton, and special guest,
Lindsey Pelas.
Cheers, and remember to tip your bartender.
Hello, my name is Wil Fulton, and this is Shoot Your Shot, the trivia game show where we ask some questions, take some shots, maybe get a little tipsy. Today, my guest is none other than Lindsey Pelas.
Hi guys.
How are
Thank
you
you for
today?
having me.
Thank you for
I love
coming.
your bar.
My fake bar?
I love it.
Please. Pretty much the queen of social media. She has millions of followers. She also has a podcast called Eyes Up Here, and she recently helped open a new restaurant in Los Angeles called Sugar Taco.
Yeah, come get your taco fix.
I would.
Okay.
So I'm gonna ask you a bunch of questions. You get it right, I have to take a shot. You get it wrong, you have to take a shot.
Sounds like a win-win.
Today we have a signature cocktail just for Lindsey. It is called the Bombshells Away, made by Garen Ferry from Brooklyn's Reclamation Bar. At the end of today's show, we'll teach all of you at home how to make it if you stick around. Number 1.
Oh man, it's like already?
What is Louisiana's official state drink? A, Abita root beer. B, hurricanes, like in New Orleans, you know. C, milk. D, watered down Hawaiian punch.
I think it's B, hurricane.
Do you think that? Well, you're wrong. It is C, milk.
What?
I don't know.
The hell? I grew up in a dairy farm town, like I should have known.
Man, they're
yeah.
gonna be mad at you.
Yeah, La Rondure, Louisiana.
What was it like growing up in Louisiana?
It smells like cow poop. No, not all of Louisiana, just where I grew up.
Just take a shot.
Okay, bombshells away.
Bombshells
I wish
away.
I could cheers.
I'll cheers you.
Cheers.
We'll both take
at home.
one.
Okay.
Cheers.
Woo.
You like it?
Ooh, that's fun.
Yeah. It's tasty. Number 2, the inventor of the modern bikini, French designer Louis Riard, named his now iconic two-piece bathing suit after what? A, the Polynesian word for sex. B, a famous tiki drink. C, a tropical island used for testing atomic weapons. Or D, Bikini Bottom, where sponges, starfish, and squids coexist.
Not D, because SpongeBob is kind of recent. I'm
Okay.
gonna go no on A.
Okay.
Because I just don't think he'd be that pervy. I
Okay.
hope.
Well, he
Let's-
did invent the bikini, so. And he's French.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna go C because it sounds just out of the water.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah!
Bikini Atoll. That's where they tested the A-bomb.
Oh my God, sick.
Yeah, it is.
Good to know.
You have a quote that I love. I'm making bank off of what should impress me.
You know, I think we've been really lucky with the internet because, you know, a lot of times women's careers were defined by the men who placed them there. So it would be some rich guy who decided you're gonna be the cover of this magazine, you're gonna do this. And with the internet, the world gets to choose what they're invested in.
Right.
And a lot of times it doesn't need that middleman. It's just I post whatever I want and then I get the followers. So then I make my own endorsements and my own advertisements and I don't need to answer to some corporate weirdo, which is awesome.
So suck it, you corporate weirdos out there.
Yes, suck
no,
it,
I
man.
like that. Question 3. Which of these celebrities has posed nude for Playboy? A, Christina Aguilera. B, Lucy Liu. C, Charlize Theron. D, Dame Judi Dench. Love her.
I'm gonna go Lucy Liu.
You're not even gonna think about it?
No.
Oh, you're wrong.
Ah.
It's C, Charlize Theron.
Shut
In
up.
the 90s, yeah, I Googled it.
What are they
From
great?
my home computer.
I
yeah.
didn't know that at all.
Yeah, I mean, you can look it up later.
What the hell?
Yeah, blame Lucy Liu.
To Lucy Liu anyway. Cutie.
I blame Lucy Liu for most of my problems, so. So you posed for Playboy. Was it something you always wanted to do, or did it just kind of come up?
You know, I was 21. I had watched The Girls Next Door my entire life.
I remember that show.
I was obsessed with glamour all across the board. There was a casting around in Texas, and I just thought like I had to do this.
What's a party like at the Playboy Mansion?
Sick.
Is it everything you think it is?
Yes, it is sick. The only thing is the house seems smaller.
In real life?
But it's stunning, it's beautiful, it's so fun. I met like the Backstreet Boys there.
All of them?
No, AJ.
No.
AJ told me he followed my Snapchat and I just died.
Which one's AJ? The bad boy? I'm more of an NSYNC guy.
Oh, okay.
I'm more of a 98 Degrees fan.
Wow, you're unique.
Right now, we have a Wildcard segment called
Cupcake Roulette.
Basically, for this question, we're subbing out shots for 6 cupcakes. A lot of these cupcakes are filled with, I don't want to say gross, they're unusual. What do we have? Mayonnaise, ketchup, lentils, because I heard you like lentils.
I do like lentils.
Just not
Maybe not the
cupcakes.
cupcake.
Same rules apply, but we're dealing with loaded cupcakes here. You ready?
I'm ready.
I think you're gonna like this question. In the late 90s cult classic Fear, which I heard is your favorite movie.
Oh, I've got this. You're going
Are
down.
you sure?
Yes.
What band covers the Rolling Stones' even more iconic song Wild Horses during the Ferris wheel scene? You know the Ferris wheel scene?
Oh my God, I had this song on LimeWire. I should know exactly.
On LimeWire?
Yeah,
That's a
but that was
deep cut.
back then.
Right.
No, okay,
I'm gonna
yeah.
give you options.
Okay.
I'm surprised. I tried to make this hard so you wouldn't get it.
I might not get it.
A, the Smithereens, B, the Sundays, C, the Replacements, or D, the Cherry Poppers.
That is so wrong. I'm gonna go B, the Sundays.
Son of a bitch. That's right.
Yes!
Damn it.
Yes! LimeWire, literally 2007-ish.
What the f? You're not supposed to get that one
Because
right.
I would scroll down and I knew it was
That
around
would-
the S. Can you do it again?
That sucks. Yeah, you can spin it for me.
Who's got the fear now? Oh!
I guess
think
the
it
choice has
shows
been
you.
made.
I'm scared. What is that?
Just ketchup.
Oh, you're kidding.
That's really gross.
I thought you guys were lying. It's actually ketchup.
That's f***ed up.
So
Bring
proud.
up Dan Bilzerian. You guys hung out. Dated? Is that too strong of a word?
Yeah, loosely dated. He was like, you know what? I'm gonna make you internet famous. He started posting me often. I had like 1 million followers in 6 weeks.
That's amazing. Which of these Dan Bilzerian facts is not true? A, he was honorably discharged from the Navy SEALs. B, he was arrested in high school for having a machine gun in his car. C, his last name means overcompensating boulder in Armenian.
What?
Or D, he suffered 2 heart attacks before he turned 30.
The hard attacks is for sure.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't know.
Overcompensating boulder is like,
In Armenian.
I don't speak Armenian, but that sounds like a dig. Jeez,
You know?
this is so hard.
I just ate a cupcake filled with ketchup. This is not hard. It's
Why
my
would
normal
any
face.
word mean overcompensating boulder? This is really hard. I'm gonna go see overcompensating boulder.
Oh, that's right. God damn it.
Yes! I'm so proud of myself.
There's this whole public perception of him.
Yeah.
What do people not know about him?
He's not faking any of it. Guns, girls, like
Yeah.
it's just wild.
That's him.
That is real.
Wow.
He's more laid back. He's actually kind of more country. Like,
Really?
yeah,
Did
he's
you
kind
hang out with him? Like, if he was at our fake bar, would he just be cool to like? hang out
Yeah,
and
he's
talk with?
he's cool.
Okay. Do you want to take one?
Yeah, I will. I will.
You're kicking my. So I want to talk
You have
about
a buzz.
me.
Me.
How do you think I feel? And I have that ketchup aftertaste.
Should I ask the question?
No.
Hot takes or shot takes?
In this segment, you must answer a tough question truthfully, or take another shot.
Ooh, okay.
Easy, yeah, easy, right? For the first one, I've heard a story that a former boy band star has tried to pick you up in the past. Who was that boy band star?
I'll give you one better. I'll give you both one from NSYNC and one from Backstreet Boys. But I will not tell you who.
What color hair did they have?
Brown, both brown. But I answered,
You did.
basically.
Out of all the celebrities you met, who sucks the most?
Oh no, I have a story, but I was gonna save it for like 10 years.
Who knows what's gonna happen in 10
Oh,
years?
I cannot
The world's
say
gonna
it yet.
explode.
No, it's actually some tea. Like I cannot say it. It's a lady. There was a supermodel that talked shit about me at a party.
A supermodel.
Supermodel,
But not a
legendary supermodel. But I don't want to spill the name yet. Okay, I'll take this one. Because it's a good story. I'm gonna save it. But most people are cool. Ludacris.
Oh yeah?
I love him so much. But
Ludacris?
I met Leonardo DiCaprio.
What? I like him.
So cool.
Down to earth,
The coolest guy.
fun to hang out with.
It's unfair.
Seems like it.
Yeah.
You do still have to take that shot. Although that was great gossip.
Cheers.
We need to refill these shots. I'm not a real bartender.
I used to bartend.
What tips do you have to bartenders out there?
Low cut shirts.
For everyone?
Yeah, kind of. Service industry. Any service industry job.
You have to take
You do. Tip your bartenders.
Who of the following has the least amount of Instagram followers? A, Odell Beckham Jr. B, Klay Thompson. C, JJ Watt. D, Tom Brady.
Whoa, this one I might not know.
Whoa.
Go Clay.
It's JJ.
Damn it.
JJ Watt and Odell Beckham, you've called them out, especially JJ Watt.
No, okay.
And I know he's bequeathed now to someone else.
Yeah, he's
But you call-
betrothed. Is that the word? Isn't it betrothed? What's bequeathed? Did
You!
you say bequeathed?
I did not say bequeath.
Did you?
Never
He
been said
said
on this show.
bequeathed. This is awesome.
So
Okay,
JJ Watt, Odell Beckham.
yeah, so here, look, TMZ comes up to you and they're like, what do you think about so
What
and
do you mean
so?
TMZ comes up to you?
The airport was the first time.
So they brought it up.
I didn't run to TMZ and be like, hi, I'd like to talk about JJ Watt. Oh, they said, who would you holler at if you could? And I did think JJ Watt was really, really hot.
Yeah.
He still is, but he's betrothed.
Bequeathed.
I hope he's not bequeathed.
We have another wildcard segment. This is called
DM Mad Libs.
You have to fill in the blanks on our poster board truthfully or take another shot. This section is all about your DMs, which I can only assume are very active across all social medias, especially LinkedIn.
That's a fact, okay.
Okay.
Ooh.
Good. For every blank you don't fill in, you have to take another shot. But for every one you do take in, I have to take a shot. And I've taken a lot of shots so far. You've killed me at this game. So I'm gonna go through this paragraph first. I'm gonna hand it to you.
Okay.
See how you fill it out. I get about blank DMs per day. The first famous person to slide into my DMs was blank. Blank shot their shot once, but failed because blank.
Okay.
I actually wish blank would DM me. My advice for sliding into the DMs.
I'm scared. Let me just.
I'll stand back here.
I feel really bad about outing anyone for being in my DMs. But I'm gonna do it.
True.
I'm so scared about this.
Okay. Thank you for answering all of them, which means I have to take a shot.
Exactly.
I get about 500 DMs per day. That's about 500 more than I get. The first famous person to slide into my DMs was Jared Leto. Is that true?
Yeah.
What did he say to you?
I'm not sure, but we're both from Louisiana, so maybe something about that.
Did you answer him?
Yeah.
What'd you say?
Probably responded with an emoji.
Have you ever met him?
No,
Really?
we never met. Yeah, we never hung out.
Wow. So it's just like an online correspondence.
Yeah, just like a little hi.
But failed because I was preoccupied. What does that even say?
It says actually I texted back, but
Yeah.
we never hung out.
I actually wish Oprah would DM me. That's important. Me too.
Yeah, I love her.
My advice for sliding into the DMs, don't neg me.
Yeah, don't. Get out of my DMs.
That's so stupid. I don't know anybody over the age of like 14 who negs women. And it
I
feels like it
do.
works. You really do. That happens
checked
to
the
you.
500 a day. I'll show you.
You filled in all of those. Congrats. Good for you.
Congrats, you get a shot.
Yikes.
Good for you. I'm a tough competitor. I'm kind of like Monica Geller when it comes to games. I take it very seriously.
What is Sugar Taco and why did you want to be involved with a restaurant?
I had Jade Nicole on my podcast. Jade Nicole was a Playmate of the Year. She was on Girls Next Door.
Right.
And she came on my show to talk about women in business. And Jade was like, I'm opening up this plant-based taco shop on Melrose. I want all women investors. And she asked me after, she's like, would you want to invest? And I was like, no. And then a few months later, I heard all the girls involved. And I said, please take my money.
So you came crawling back.
I came crawling back like with a huge check in my hand. It's the most I've ever invested into anything. It's a team of 10 really strong, important, impactful, gorgeous women that wanted to make a difference not only environmentally, but they wanted to show that women could be in business. You never see something like this.
Awesome. So your calendar, real quick, what is your calendar?
So I did a wet theme calendar and it's got, slip and slides. I've written a dunk tank. It's just anything sexy and water themed.
How do you write the dunk tank?
I actually recreated the Varsity Blues whipped cream photo shoot as well in the calendar.
Yes, I've done the same thing, but just for my own enjoyment.
Really?
Feels good, man.
You were bequeathed when you did that, weren't you?
So number 10, all great things must come to an end, including this. Which of the following is not an actual, real, sexy calendar? A, the Women of Curling. B, Hot and Sexy AC Repairman. C, the Naked Clown Calendar.
Christ.
Or D, Steamy Orthodox Priests.
D, Orthodox priests.
It's very real, trust me. I'll send
Which
you
one
pictures.
is fake? The AC repair ladies?
Hot and Sexy AC Repairman is something I made up. But it could be real. Maybe now it will be.
I had more faith in the church. And once again, I was let down.
This is the last one.
Cheers.
Thank you for coming. This was
Thank
so
you
fun.
so much for having me at
It
your
was.
bar.
You kicked my ass and it was good.
It's my favorite thing to do.
For everyone at home that wants to learn how to make a bombshells away, which you should,
Totally.
delicious. Here's how you do it.
And now, Buzzed Bartending with Wil Fulton.
0.75 ounces of white grape juice, 0.25 ounces of lemon juice, 0.5 ounces of Rapa Giovanni Ratifario de Gerona. It's black cherry liqueur. Ooh, it's thick. And of course, 1.5 ounces of vodka. Shake it up. I'm getting good at the top. Bombshells away. Before you go, we obviously have to have you sign our bar.
I'd love to.
All right, ready, Lindsay? Perfect. Last shot, just for fun. Lindsay and Wil.
Cheers. I'm sorry I beat you so
Being
hard.
best friends is fine. Some people probably pay for that stuff.
I bequeath that statement. Remember Monica in French? She was like, that's not even a word.
I do.
That's me when you said bequeath.
If you haven't already subscribed to Thrillist, you should do it, right?
Subscribe to Thrillist.
It's
What are you
not hard.
thinking?
And if you want another video right now, it should be right over there.
Yes.
That's what they say.
Over there.